Today is actually Friday already, 12:30 a.m. and the date that I'm recording this is, let's look, it's the 12th of December and it's 12:13 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm going to bring in the Avatar Consciousness group. It's a group of about 125 to 150 beings from very high vibrational frequency, and I'm going to become their channel, and I'm going to channel them in. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to channel them in, or if I'm going to actually do this and be in the background. So I haven't done this in a few years for many different reasons, but here it goes. So I'm going to get into my place where I allow them to come in and they'll take over. So I'll see you guys when I get back, whenever that is. Blessing, dear ones. We are the Avatar Group Consciousness, as our little one refers to us, because we have no names. The vibrational frequency that we come from is one that's very distant, millions of light years away from your location on this earth. And vibrationally speaking, dimensionally speaking, it's a place that is difficult to reach. A very high dimensional place. Hence, this is why we do not need labels or names, as you call them, to define ourselves. Since we are part and parcel a definition of everything that's inclusive. So we've come here today to bring you a bit of joy, and at the same time bring you information about your stage that your earth is at, and that you're all at in your development, your spiritual development, and what physically is happening to your planet at this point in time. You see, we spoke about this through the little one in your time frame, because we don't have a time frame here either. You see, we come from a place that there is no time, no labels. It's just space, and if we could describe it to you, it is an unfoldment of creation itself, at the very core of creation. If you were going to ask us a location of where we emanate from, this would be a good direction for you all to focus on, to focus your mind of our origins, where we come from, and where we are actually sending this transmission. Now, before we get into our dissertation about what is happening to all of you and your planet, it is an honor and a pleasure to be back here, and we really thank the little one. We call her that because she's such a huge being that it's our little private joke to call her the little one. You see, we do have a sense of humor. So we demute her because she's so vast. But anyways, to get back to why we're here, And we've learned through her to count time in your time frame, right? So we'll be mindful about that and not drag this on forever and ever, and so that you can feel our frequency through these channelings, as you call them. We call them transmissions. But we'd like to speak about where your planet is at this point, where all of you as a group are, and how the wheat is being divided from the chaff, shall we say, on your planetary system. So several things that come to mind that we would like to share with you is the concern that you all have, which is a good concern to have, about the up and coming earth changes that you will experience. You're already in that process of experiencing your weather patterns drastically changed, yes. Your North Pole is melting, and this is something we'd like to talk to you about. And the South Pole is actually growing and getting bigger. Interesting, correct? So some of your scientists are freaking out because your North Pole is melting at such a rapid pace. At the same time, they're not really focusing on the South Pole and how that's increasing in size. Yes, that will cause a disbalance, but there's a purpose for this. There's a reason that this is happening. Besides the environmental poisoning that's happened on your planet, that your higher ups, shall we call them that have put themselves in that position and you've allowed it, have caused this unbalance on your planet because they're unbalanced, you see. So they're reflecting back their unbalance on all of you. But you've allowed it to a certain extent. We know that many of you, including the little one, have felt helpless because these beings at the top have all the money, all the power, all the controls, so they think. But you see, there's a grander scheme of what's to come here to your home planet. And many of you that are visitors here and not really shall we say indigenous to your home planet, many of you starseeds, yes? And that's who we would really like to address this to, is to you starseeds, because we are in honor to you. We are grateful to all of you for charging forward and being the warriors that you are, and actually being our ground troops, so to speak, for the celestial beings that are transmitting from such a large distance, that you all were willing to take this plunge, especially in this time frame on your Earth planet that is so, shall we say, tenuous. And for many of you, a lot of concern about even having a future in the long term. So, let's speak about the North Pole and speak about the methane being released and the ocean melting off the ice. Now, we spoke of this, and the little one does not remember, but we spoke of this 5 or 6 years ago, that this was going to happen in this time frame. And so here it is. We also spoke about the violet flame. Rain. Yes, you heard us. A violet flame rain that was going to come upon your planet and purify it. That is still coming. It is not yet at your doorstep, but it is coming. We saw this and expressed this quite some time ago. And we're expressing it now, that the time is coming upon all of you on this earth, a time of purification through the violet flame rain. And now our little one understands, because back then, when we came through her and talked about this, she could not conceive how it was possible that you would have literally drops of violet rain coming upon your planet, and the things that are not of a pure heart, and the things people, sea life, plant life, the crawling creatures, animals of all sorts that are not pure, will be purified by this violet rain. This we can assure you. And we can also assure you to the fact that it is coming. Since we don't have time where our consciousness resides, yes? It's difficult for us to determine, and we know you're very attached to your linear time on your planet, and your watches and clocks and computers that measure time, which is basically created by your scientists, your men on your planet. We don't have that apparatus where we live. We just know that it's a trajectory of what's going to occur on your planet. And part of what's going to release this upon your planet is exactly what's happening with your North Pole. It melting because of the tremendous amount of gases, which your scientists call greenhouse gases, that actually methane, when you light it, it becomes violet. So there's the mystery resolved that the little one was so wondering about. How could it be possible that this thing would be raining down from the skies? Well, it's very simply, we could explain it now, right? If you have methane that gets released into your air, and it travels up into your skies, and then it collects on the clouds, and all of a sudden there is lightning, voila! Guess what you have? You will have violet rain. That will be actually methane that's lit up, and that will come back on the ground and burn all those things and turn them into ash to be purified. Not to fear this for anyone, you see, because even those, whether it's plant life, rock life, animal life, of any sort, waters, bodies of water that need to be purified, all these things will turn into ash. And the ash that comes from this substance will then be converted into the food, into the purifier that will purify your waters, your lakes, your mountains, all the things that have been, shall we say, unbalanced, distorted, energetically speaking. Now, before this occurrence happens, and if you like, your power grabbers at the top that know about this, and they know about this time frame, and they know about what's going to happen, they're planning to exit stage left and leave you all behind. Just like they were. They actually were left behind by the blue bloods, which actually are what some of you call the reptoids. Yes, the draconians. So they've been left behind, and then the ones that are not pure blue bloods, that are mixed races that are controlling your planet, are planning an evacuation as well. and leaving all of you to deal with this violet rain. Because this violet rain is going to go through to the deeper core of the planet that needs cleansing and purification. So those of you that are in power and in control, and we've told you this before, who think and believe that you, in your underground bases, can escape this, think again. We suggest that you all move on in your retrofitted spaceships, that you got this technology from several different alien races that you traded for humans. We suggest that you get on those cigar ships, you know, the ones that are football size and others, and vacate this planet. And you better do it pretty soon, because this is coming to you sooner than you expect. Anyhow, to get back to speaking about the ones that are left behind, we have some advice for all of you. Because it will happen, this event will happen in your lifetime and the little one's lifetime. This we are certain of. That it's not going to come in 100 years from now, you see. Because the ones that have controlled your planet thus far, and that have ruined your ecology here, your ecosystem, those beings have actually tilted and sped up this process in an inordinate amount. Whereas before, the change may have happened in a 100 years, 200 year cycle. It's been sped up to a much shorter cycle. Anywhere of your time frame between 20 and 50 years. Anywhere in between. From this day. So, for all of you that end up staying here behind, the beings that control your planet, they will make sure to vacate. They're going to try and vacate right before this event, but they will do it quite a bit ahead of this event, yes? So we want to let you all know that, which in the end will be a blessing for all of you. This is why in some of your sacred texts, it talks about the meek inheriting the earth, which is all of you that get left behind. All you starseeds, all of you half-breeds, all of you different beings inhabiting a human body that have or were denoted as the slaves to the powerful ones that controlled your planet and controlled the financial aspect of it, the medical aspect of it, the food aspect of it, all the basic need aspects that they have taken over and manipulated and controlled to their desires. So why has this happened on your planet? Many of you are questioning this. And our answer is because it's part of your learning. And because you have allowed this. You need to understand this, all of you. That if you were to join forces as a single group of little under 7 billion, and there are only 100,000 of them, truly, if that many, that are actually controlling everything on your planet, you don't think that you could actually stomp on all of them? Stomp them out of existence? Of course you could. But this is something that all of you will have to, shall we say, decide. If the one consciousness can enter into every single one of you, we'll see if that happens. There's many, many different possibilities here and probabilities of what will occur on your planet. One thing is certain though, your violet flame is coming. And it will be in this shall we say millennium, in the 2000 millennium, that will be for sure. So as your ice caps are melting in the North Pole, the South Pole is increasing its ice caps, and that is going to cause quite a bit of earth changes, shall we call it that. The climate changes you're already experiencing. All you have to do is open your eyes and see how you're getting 50-degree weather in the middle of winter in St. Paul, Minnesota, so to speak. And different places like that, you see. So the ones that are a little bit closer to the North Pole, like northern Canada, they're not really quite feeling it yet. But by next year, they'll see the effects of it. A lot less snow, a lot less rainfall, so on and so forth. Anyhow, we don't want to continue on this drudgery of what will come. We want to explain why this is happening, why the poles are doing what they're doing, why the ice is melting. Yes, a big part of it, like we said, we are definitely stating that the beings that control your planet are responsible. And all the other beings that have enabled them, allowed them, and actually followed their orders are also responsible. So all of you as a race, a human race, let's put you all in there, even though some of them may have part reptilian and other kinds of what you would call extraterrestrials, we call them starseeds, yes? These beings have been allowed to run amok of things on your planet. And so, hence, the purification, the fifth, what we call the fifth incarnation of this earth, purification, is upon all of you. Which is a great and grandiose thing. Because after this purification, and after the fall of these power grabbers, shall we say, and after all of you all are left behind to die, so they think, and of course they're going to try and leave a few of their troops behind to control everything, and they're peons, you see, but those are exactly the ones that are going to become ash. Any of you that do not purify your beings, your hearts, your minds, and you don't get yourself straight with yourselves, will be turned into ash. So, all of you that are behind the wave of shifting yourselves into equanimity with the planet itself and all its life forms, just know that you will also become ash. For those of you that have a higher consciousness, that are in tune with your mother, Earth Mother, because you live on her and you have a physical body that's of her making, that is the human body, yes, that was made for this planet. There are other planets that do have human-like life forms like you, but the specific human race that's here was specifically designed for this planet. And for all of you that are starseeds that came here to download your codes, to get the love vibration of frequency really elevated, to start eliminating the fear on the planet, that is the key. To continue doing your work, to continue serving other beings that ask you for your assistance and your help in actually helping the transition of the planet. So your North Pole is a very good indicator of what's happening and how that polar caps are melting we hope that you beings that are intelligent enough will take your polar bears, the North Pole polar bears, and move them to the South Pole, where they can live and survive. That would not be very hard to do, and especially you beings that are fully awake, that have the resources to do this, take action and take care of these beings, because they will serve you in your future. To get back now to your destiny, which is you're creating it at every moment, every minute and every moment you create your destiny. And all of you that come together as one heartbeat will be able to create a new destiny for this planet. And we tell you now not to fear this change, because that will make you turn into ash. For those of you that welcome this change and that welcome the violet rain, flame, because that's what it is, you will be purified by it, and your bodies will be transmuted and transformed into a more crystalline-based being. You're already transforming into crystalline-based beings, all of you, that are conscious and awake. And you're actually feeling it because you are getting interesting aches, pains, headaches, all sorts of different, shall we say, like expressions of this new body that you're in the process of attaining. So for all of you beings that are awake, that are fully present, that are in the love vibrational frequency, and we're going to keep harping on this love vibrational frequency, and in the surrender, yes, of this love vibrational frequency is the key to your liberation, to your transmutation, and to you all getting your upgrades in your new bodies that are going to be crystalline-like. After this event occurs of purification on your planet, and there are many ancient races that saw this as the fifth incarnation of the planet and how it was going to be transmuted. After this, they'll become a great peace on your planet. There will be no more of this hoarding, greed, control, domination. That is what's going to be purified off your planet. So welcome it. Instead of being in fear of it, all of you should welcome it. This violet flame rain that's going to fall upon all of you and your planet and purify your planet into a pristine, divine, elevated place. And yes, the vibrational frequency of the planet is definitely going to rise. Therefore, all of you are going to be, shall we say, a little bit lighter vibrational frequency and physically speaking. So let's talk about how you're all vibrating particles of energy. And the earth is moving at a pace, and its magnetic field is moving at a very slow pace that causes things to crystallize into form, physical form. Yes, liquids, glasses, these computers, your technology, rocks, trees, etc. But after this change, we want to share with you that you're going to be vibrating, and so is your planet, at a higher octave. So when we also spoke about this, yes, we transmitted this quite some time ago, about your planet vibrating at such a high frequency, at such a high octave, that you would actually be in a higher dimensional frequency. What most of a lot of your spiritual teachers, and as well ancient texts that talked about you moving into a higher dimensional frequency. What that entails, and what that means, is that you will be vibrating, you'll be oscillating at a higher frequency range, So your physicalness, yes, your physical bodies, and when we speak about bodies, we mean one single human that has several bodies, yes, will be changed and transformed, and you will be physical and non-physical in the same time frame. Beings of a fifth dimensional realm, if you like, or dimension, and 6th and 7th and 8th and 10th and 20th vibrate at a much higher, faster pace than you all do here. That's how you can teletransport. That is how you can move things. You'll be able to move with your mind's thought that is faster than the speed of light once this transformation occurs. And you will instantly be able to create with consciousness, shall we say, your desire for sustenance, shelter, without hurting your environment. You will also be able, as our little one has coined this word, to miscreate. Which what she means by that is that you will have the power and ability to create negative things in negative creations in your life that you'll have experiences with. But just as instantly as you'll be able to create that, your next thought could be uncreate this and create a beautiful garden with butterflies and birds, and the trees that have been cut, you can create them back into their original form. Oh yes, you will be powerful beyond recognition. But only after this transmutation happens on your planet. Only after the purification of your planet Earth will this occur. And like we said, that will be coming in all of you that are here now, your lifetime. From the very babies to the beings that are in their 50s, 60s, you'll get to see this. That is, if you are of a pure heart. We've always said that. Is that those that have a pure heart will be able to transmute into the crystalline body forms. And thereafter raise your frequency to 5th, 6th, 10th, 12th frequency, because different parts of your planet, it's not like the whole planet's all going to be 5D, 5th dimensional frequency. There are going to be different zones on your planet that are going to be able to have the different frequencies, the different dimensions. It's going to be a very interesting experiment and an interesting occurrence. Those of you that are vibrating at a 12th dimensional frequency or 20th dimensional frequency will have a place here on Earth where you can vibrate at that frequency. And those of you that can get to the 5th dimension, because that's the bare minimum, you will have your place here as well. For those of you that want to continue the domination, controlling, self-serving game, there'll be no place for you on this earth once the purification of this planet occurs. So all of you will turn into ash and be, if you like, transplanted, transported to a new location, a different earth that has been created for you, and this we spoke of again. We're speaking about many things that the little one did not have a chance to record and save. But we did speak about this in 2009, where we spoke about how there was going to be a group of beings that are here now that are still wanting to control, dominate, self-serve, have the mentality of them being the kings and all of you being the slaves. All of you that are of that thought pattern and of that thinking, you will be transmuted, shall we call it, into ash, and your souls will be shifted to another planet that has already been created for this purpose. It is definitely not in this universe. It's in a different universe that's slowly evolving, and you will find a planet that's similar to this one, but has more challenges, shall we say? So you will be put in the mix with those challenges, and because your philosophy is of survival of the fittest, you will be put in those conditions. Now, for all of the other beings, and that's why we said at the beginning, when we talked about this, we said we're going to divide the wheat from the chaff. The chaff is those that are still in that program mind of control, domination, for beings, other beings to be of service to you, your servants, yes? Those of you we perceive as the chaff. And you're going to recycle back to another planet that's already been created for all of you, and you could do with it as you like. But those conditions are not going to be as friendly as the ones that have been here on planet Earth. And maybe you'll learn your lesson that way. And when all of you transmute yourselves into a place of love and being of service to others, and being grateful to serve others, things will change a bit for all of you that are in that mindset, that are in that place of wanting to control, dominate, destroy, all those things that you have done here on this planet. You'll be sent to a different Earth, because this planet, and she's been talking to us, is done, and no longer will allow this to occur. She is definitely in her progression to ascension, to ascending her vibrational frequency to a higher octave, so that all that will be left here is the pristineness that she had when she first created herself into a planet. The waters will be pristine, the earth, the soil, the air, everything on this planet will be pristine. It will be luminescent, and it will be vibrating at a much higher octave. Last night, or shall we say yesterday morning, we did come into the little one. She's starting to recall that she had this very strange dream about being on the new earth. Your ascended earth, your fifth earth that is going to be born out of the ashes, literally. And she actually remembers quite a bit of it now that we're speaking of it. She's recalling how amazing, how it was. This planet is going to be, because it's going to be physical and non-physical in the same time frame. It's going to be like a blinking star instead of a planet. So for those humanoids that want to control and dominate and come back to this planet, there is not going to be any coming back to this planet. For those beings, all of you that have your lovely exit strategy and leaving in your cigar ships, your big spaceships, we say so long to you, and you will not be welcome to this planet, and you won't be vibrating at the same frequency of this planet, so you won't be ever able to find it again. So good luck to all of you, and we hope that you also find a new home in your trajectory that you've already planned and that you already have, and that you'll be well served there as well. The ones that we really want to spend some time with assisting and creating a vision for all of you to work towards in a unified state of being is going to be the key. So for all of you beings that come into unification, into service to others, into purifying your hearts, into becoming neutral, into purifying the fear out of your bodies, and assisting not only your fellow man and woman, but also your fellow plant life, your fellow furry animal. They are your neighbors. They are your fellow beings that come in different forms, whether it's the creepy crawlers or the ants, or whether it's your bees or your insectoids, any of those, all of your furry animals, all of your sea animals, all of your cetacean. Which makes us quite sad, because you're choking your outer planet to death, and this is why it needs to be purified, and this is why the violet rain flame will come, because it's absolutely necessary. And out of that, a new earth will arise, and a new frequency that will be much higher and will not be able to be overtaken, if you like, by the beings that came here originally, that eventually have caused this fifth incarnation destruction on your planet Earth. There are several scientists that are pretty accurate in terms of the decline of your civilization, and they have actions. We will let you know that for sure. So, we just want to let you all know that you have the ability to transform yourselves, and to vibrate at a higher octave when the violet rain flame comes down. And if you are vibrating at that higher octave, all of you that are, and that have a pure heart, and we can't reiterate that any more than we continue to, those of you that are authentic, that are true to self, that are true to others, that care about the planet, you will be vibrating at that higher frequency that will transmute you into those crystalline beings. Multidimensional crystalline beings that will be able to be here and there and everywhere in the same time frame. And you'll be able to be physical, and when you choose not to be physical, non-physical. And you'll be able to travel this way around your world. You will not need your vehicles. You certainly will not need any of the technologies that have been brought here, because they're all archaic, you see. And the reason why they're archaic, it is because they are made from a false construct. And these technologies are designed non-organically. So any technologies that are non-organic, in other words, that they come from Gaia herself, will disappear. We guarantee you this. Your satellites outside of your Earth, all that will be gone. Your cell phone towers that are causing you all great harm, your HARP, the Gwen, all the things that these beings have tried to control and infiltrate and transplant and change everything, all of this will be gone. It will be ash. Big piles of ash. So, this is a time frame that will be quite amazing for some of you that discover your true heart, your true soul, and that move in this direction of oneness and wholeness with the planet and with yourselves. So we want you to start contemplating upon this. How can you be at one with everything here. For those of you that practice this, you will survive. This fifth incarnation is what we call it. The purification by fire is what's coming upon all of you. This is a very appropriate song that's being played. She will not perish. Her waters won't perish and disappear. As a matter of fact, a lot of the deserts that were destroyed by atom bombs, yes, that's why you have the Mojave Desert and the Sahara Desert. It's because there have been explosions here and atomic weapons been used here before. Will come back to life. Because what we are foreseeing is that she is going to birth herself, your Earth Mother Gaia, the outer layer, into a new, brilliant, pristine layer. And you will have the White Light Brotherhood, some of your Starseed family, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Platorians, the Andromedans, and many other beings that are of a higher frequency will come here after the surface has been turned into ash. Not all the surface, but good portions of the surface that were so damaged, so depleted that they needed to be regenerated, and this is how it will happen. So these beings will come here to seed once again, like it's been done over and over and over and over and over again. So our message that we want to share with all of you is that for those of you that are mourning and at loss of the hundreds of millions of beings that are four-legged, furry, cetacean, there's 200 species dying every day on your planet of all sorts and becoming extinct. And we want to let you know that this will be reseeded as well, but at a higher octave, at a higher frequency. And that's why we were so wanting to come through our little one, our actual channel, because we wanted to share this information that's very crucial for all of you to get in this time frame, because it will assist you in your transition and your transmutation and transformation on your planet. We love all of you equally. Those that you see as the enemies, those that you see that have caused harm on this planet, you see, they know. They know what we're telling you right now. This is why they did it so without a thought, yes? That is why they trashed, so to speak, your surface of your planet. Because they know that every time that this has happened, it gets purified in some form or another, and then it gets reseeded. So this is why they were so unconsciously doing this, because in the back of their mind they knew that this planet is not gonna become extinct and die. Not even close. So they were experimenting. This has been a grand experiment for all of you. You were experimenting. And a lot of you allowed this to happen because you needed to learn. You needed to have your perpetrators, and you play the victim roles, you see. Because that's part of your learning in physical form. But we tell you the Earth School is shifting, and it is going to be a different Earth School that's going to have inhabitants of a higher vibrational frequency that will be loving the breath they breathe, the water that they drink, that they bathe in, the earth and the soil that they walk upon, and all the beings in it. So it will be somewhat of a utopia for those that transmute themselves here. Because we're not speaking just about your human race, you see. Do not be selfish about thinking about your race and you being able to survive. Think about all the creatures as well that will also be transmuted and become the beautiful crystalline beings, creatures, that you'll be living with side by side. And we're talking about lions and tigers and bears and orcas and all sorts of living creatures that you have feared. Wolves and deer and all sorts of things that are going to evolve themselves into a higher vibrational frequency. So we're coming upon the end of this hour, and we don't want to tire our little one. So we'll be speaking to you for another few more minutes and letting you know that we will be back. We will talk about this and many other things. We'd like to share with all of you that this is a grand theater that you're all choosing to play in, and that you've decided to come here. So when you get angry at these beings that have caused this destruction, you also need to take responsibility for allowing it and not saying no to it and standing up to them, being brave enough to stand up to them and saying, enough. No more of this. Regardless, this earth will be purified once again. It'll be crystalline once again. But this next time, she is choosing this, you see. It's not up to you all to choose this. You cannot control her. She's far bigger consciousness than you all are put together as the human, if you like, on this planet. And she is choosing to elevate her frequency to a 10th or higher octave. Which means that this earth, when it does its transmutation, when it finally goes through the purification and comes out the other side, this planet will be vibrating at such a high frequency that you may not even recognize her, and the ones that leave and try to come back will definitely not recognize her, because she will be somewhat of an enigma. She won't be the blue-green, easily recognizable planet that's solid. She will be, shall we say, like all of you? And that should be where we leave this. Not speak of this anymore. So for all of you that choose to stay here through your transmutation and transformation, choose to stay in your bodies and go through this process with her, will experience your ascension and her ascension. And for those of you that choose to exit stage left, shall we say, by all sorts of means, well, we bless you on your journey. And maybe one day she'll invite you back here. And for those of you that were willing to play the role of the evil ones in control and domination, well, you will also have your day of greatness, but not here on this planet. You will one day wake up to the fact that service to self is not all that you thought it was. And that'll be in itself your exploration and hopefully your elevation to a new vibrational frequency. But that is a long ways away for all of you that are called the elite, that think you are above the rest of the beings that are here, that you're going to leave supposedly to burn in hell. We shall see about that. What we can tell you, the general populace, and for those of you that are waking up, and this is why your beings, your elite, are your catalyst to wake up by the millions and billions, you see. So you should thank them for that. Truly thank them for liberating you and awakening you and being your alarm clock. Because that's what they chose to do for all of you, and vice versa. For those of you that are waking up by the masses, these are the words that we speak are for you mostly, to come to your heart center, to be service to others, to love this earth, love everything upon it, love one another, and to transmute. And we'll come back next week with another transmission about how to transmute your heart aches, your pains, your suffering, and all the things that you have inside of you. We will talk upon this next week. So with this, we are going to leave you with this transmission. We wish you all sweet day, sweet night, sweet afternoon, wherever you are in the world that you're listening to this transmission. And we bid you all a great blessing, because you all are a part of the one. You are a part of the quantum field that cannot be destroyed, dominated. It cannot be collapsed. And it certainly cannot be perpetrated by those of you elite that think you own and you control everything. Think again, dear ones. For your time is short, and it's soon to come to an end. And the time of those that are the meek is also coming to fruition, thanks to your service. So we are grateful and in great gratitude to those of you, the elite, for awakening all these beings. You have done your job brilliantly, and we thank you for it. And for those of you that are here upon this earth, we bless you, we thank you, and we ask you to remain in your bodies, in your hearts, and be one with all. With that, we bid you adieu for now. Namaste. We are the Avatar Group Consciousness, and we're leaving now. Whew, wow. I haven't done this in a while. That was awesome. Alright, this is me, Sonic Nova. I wish you all good night, and we'll see you for a new transmission. Hopefully next week, whenever they choose to come into my body. I'll be recording this and posting them up on Spreakers, and we'll see what comes up next, what they have to share. With all that, good night, good blessings to all of you.